But Jane, tell me about your life in Savannah. I love it, girl, that you are a Southern girl now.
Well, I came home from working one day with a client, and my husband, I took him his vodka at 5 o'clock, and he said, "Oh, by the way, um, I sold the apartment today. Find us someplace to live." And I had moved into I had left my townhouse and moved into his apartment, which was a beautiful pre-war apartment across from Central Park. It was on Central Park West, and it was a big apartment. We had a huge terrace, and it was so special. And I couldn't believe it. I said, "What do you mean you sold the apartment?" "Well, I got somebody knocked on the door. It was the superintendent, and he wanted to know if he'd be interested. Jean-Pierre would be interested in selling the apartment." And he said, "They made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So find us someplace to live." I said, "Okay, I'm not going to tell you where we're going to go. And since you didn't tell me you were going to sell it." So I said, my daughter was living in Houston at the time. And so subsequently, she moved very close to the time we moved to Atlanta. So I said, "Okay, I'm going to go to Savannah because I want to stay on the coast and not have to ride a subway to get to the beach." So I had never been to Savannah before, but I always remember Mammy telling Miss Scarlett, "You'd be better off in Savannah." So, so I came down and just fell in love with the city. It's just magical. And so I found a real estate agent and said, I'm gonna be here for the weekend. I need to find a house to buy." And this was in 2015, before the pandemic. So
Oh, boy, aren't you lucky? Because everybody did the mass exit about pandemic time. Oh,
absolutely, absolutely. So I looked at 50 houses in 2.5 days in
no.
Savannah. Yeah. And this was number two. My house was number two that I bought.
Oh, oh. Well, Jane, I want to come see you. I'm
Absolutely.
born and
Well,
raised
we're neighbors.
Charlestonian. I know. I
We're
love
neighbors.
Savannah. Yeah, we're,
Yeah.
outside of, well, now this place is outside of Augusta, but the Charleston place is my daddy farmed. And so
Oh,
we have their home that we take care of and rent out, which is fun. We were just down there, but I'm so glad. So tell me, what are your favorite things about being in Savannah?
well, I didn't know a soul when I moved here, and I've made the most wonderful friends. I live in a complex of houses, of about 1,500 houses, and there's a very strong women's group, and I've made so many wondrul friends. And Jean-Pierre died in 2017, and
I'm
right
so
before Christmas.
sorry. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So, so and all of my friends down here were just wonderful, and they've accepted me into as a single woman now, and I travel with them, and we've just it's just been wonderful. So um, I have a pool, and my grandchildren. My daughter, I have one daughter, and my grandchildren, they lived in Atlanta for 4 years, and then they moved to Tampa. So, they were within a 4 hour window of coming up to see me. So, I said I wanted a pool, so there'd be enticement to come. So, anyway, it's just I do a lot of entertaining, and it's my house is the perfect party house. Everybody in the neighborhood knows that this is the party house. So it's just home. I've been here 8 years. I can't believe it. I was thinking about that. It was 8 years in August. And I used to go to New York a lot, but since the pandemic, I haven't, I don't go up as much as I used to. For someone who lived there for all of those years, New York has sort of lost its glow. For
Yeah.
out of town people, you wouldn't realize that, but for someone who lived there, there's a lot of things that it's very sad. So and then I had to have a total knee replacement. I thought of Jeannie.
Oh
So
yeah.
I had a knee replacement in March. So I wasn't doing too much traveling for a while, but
Yeah.
anyway, but Savannah is home, and I just love it. And I love being down south. And I had been a buyer for 10 years for a company called Montaldo's, and they were all over. They were in we had 6 stores in North Carolina, and we were in Richmond. So I spent a lot of time down south. So somebody said, "Oh, it must have been a culture shock for you to move from New York to Savannah." And I said, "No, not really." And I had gone to college in Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia. So, I was a Southerner at heart. So